Good evening friends, this is Professor Vishal and we are solving our exercise first from our first chapter of chemistry, that is some basic concepts of chemistry. Okay, now we are going to solve the remaining numericals from our fourth question. So up to this we have finished 5 numericals. Now we are going to start with sixth one, that is name of the question is question number F. Okay, so question is like this: Arjun purchased 250 gram of glucose. 250 gram of glucose. Chemical formula is given C6H12O6 for rupees 40. For rupees 40. Find the cost of glucose per mole. We have to find the cost of glucose per mole. Okay, so question is like this. So here what they will give, they give us the mass of glucose. There is, so mass of glucose 250 gram is given, isn't it? So I am writing here mass of glucose, it is 250 gram, and for which cost for this 250 gram of glucose is, or I can write here cost for 250 gram, which is 40 rupees. So this is the data which is given in your question. So we have to find out the cost of glucose per mole. So we have to find out the cost of glucose per mole here. So for which what we have to do, we have to find out first the cost of glucose for this much amount, that is the for 250 gram. Okay, and for which we first have to calculate a number of moles in 250 gram of glucose. Once we are able to calculate a number of moles, so we can say that, for let us say 100 moles for example. I am just explaining with the help of just example. We are going to calculate actual number of moles. For example, so 250 gram of glucose contains, let us say 100 moles, and for 100 moles rupees cost is 40 rupees. We have to find out per mole, cost per mole. Okay, so first step what we have to do, we must have to calculate the number of moles contained in 250 gram. And we, as we all know, number of moles equal to, it is the ratio of mass of the glucose to the molar mass of the glucose. So first, in order to calculate the molar mass, we must have to calculate the molecular mass. So what is the difference between molecular mass and molar mass? Molecular mass, what we will get, it is in atomic mass unit, and molar mass is in gram per mole. Okay, so first step here, we have to calculate the molecular mass. So molecular mass of glucose. So formula is given C6H12O6. So therefore I can say that 6 atoms of carbon into average atomic mass of carbon. Okay, this is your first element. So we have to add again, second element is hydrogen, and number of atoms are 12. So 12 into average atomic mass of this hydrogen, isn't it? And third element remaining is oxygen. So number of atoms are 6. So number of atoms into average atomic mass of oxygen. So we have calculated this several times, so I am writing in a somewhat fast way. So just we have to put the values of average atomic masses. So for carbon it is 6 into 12u plus 12 at number of atoms. Average atomic mass of hydrogen is 1u, and plus in case of oxygen 6 into average atomic mass is 16 unit. Okay, so if you calculate it, 12 into 6, what I will get, 72u plus 12 into 1 12u and plus 16 into 6 is 96u. Okay, so if I will add it, I will get 180u. So this is what? This is molecular mass of glucose. Okay, if molecular mass is 180u, therefore I can write molar mass. Quantity will remain same, that is 180. Only unit is what? Gram per mole. So this you can also write it as a gram mole inverse, one and the same thing. This is also, it can be written as gram per mole, and this is gram per mole also. Okay, so you can use either of the one method, no issues. Okay, so after this, once you will get molar mass, you can calculate the number of moles, isn't it? So therefore I am writing here number of moles equal to mass of glucose divided by molar mass of glucose, isn't it? So mass of glucose, it is already given in your question, so it is 250 gram, and molar mass we calculated here, so it is 180 gram per mole. Okay, so gram get cancelled out, so if you simplify it, you will get precise answer as a 1.389 mole. So what we can say, that means 250 gram of glucose means it contains 1.389 number of moles. Okay, so I can write here 250 gram of glucose contains 1.389 moles, isn't it? And what we can say, that for cost of 250 gram is rupees 40 in case of glucose. Okay, so I can write, so for 1.389 moles cost is what, or what we can say, 1.389 moles of glucose price is 40 rupees. Then for 1 mole of glucose, how much the price it is? Let us say I am considering this as a x. Okay, so simple unitary method. Therefore I can write x equal to 1 into 40 divided by 1.389, isn't it? So 1 into 40 upon 1.389 moles. So if I will simplify it, I will get 28.8, or here unit is rupees, here unit is moles. Okay, so I can say that this much amount of rupees per mole is required, or for 1 mole, according to question, cost of glucose per mole is found to be 28.8 rupees. So this is the way we have to solve this numerical. So again I will quickly revise it. So firstly, what they have given mass of the glucose is 250 gram, and for which value is given, or price is given as 40 rupees. So, and what they will ask, they will ask us to find the cost of glucose per mole. Okay, so the thing is that we have to convert this mass in number 250 gram into number of moles first. Then what we have to do, so first, for which I have to calculate molecular mass, and based on molecular mass I am writing molar mass, it is in gram per mole. And once I will get molar mass, I am calculating number of moles with the help of this formula. So it is found to be 1.389 moles, means 250 gram of glucose contains 1.389 moles, and for 1.389 moles cost is 40 rupees. Therefore I can say for 1 mole cost is calculated in this way, and it is found to be 28.8 rupees. This is the cost of glucose per mole. Okay, so this is, in this way you have to solve such numericals. Instead of this, whatever the max to max change will be there, instead of this compound glucose, they will add one more anything. Instead of this, they will add anything, any compound, and let us say cost will be changed accordingly, and but the methodology you have to use will be remain same. Okay, so after this we are going to discuss about our next question. that is question number G. Okay, so question number G is like this: the natural isotopic abundance of isotopes of boron are given, that is B10 and B11. So natural isotopic abundance of boron 10 is 19.60%. That percentage abundance is given, and for boron 11 isotope it is 80.40%. Okay, so two isotopes of boron are given along with their percentage abundance. Okay, so the exact isotopic masses are 10.13 and 11.009. so these are the isotopic masses. So for B10 it is 10.13 and for B11 it is 11.009. Okay, so we have to calculate the average atomic mass of boron. Okay, so here we must remember the formula for average atomic mass of any element. So here boron, so I am writing directly formula. So average atomic mass is equal to atomic mass of, or I am writing in short way, atomic mass of B10 into its percentage abundance. Okay, plus similarly atomic mass of second isotope, that is B11, boron 11, into its percentage abundance, and whole divided by 100. Okay, means here two isotopes are given, so what I am doing, I am just multiplying its atomic mass with its abundance and add for the second isotope. For atomic mass of B10 into its percentage abundance plus atomic mass of B11 into its percentage abundance. If in the problem more isotopes are given, I am adding in a sequence like this, and whole divided by 100. Okay, and all values are given in your question. If you read the question carefully, atomic mass of B10 is also given, it is 10.13, and average atomic mass of B11 is also given, it is 11.01. So only the thing is that we have to put the value and you will get the answer. Okay, so I am just putting the value. Atomic mass of B10, that is boron 10 isotope, it is 10.13. okay, and percentage abundance is already given, it is 19.60. okay, so plus for second isotope, that is B11, atomic mass is given as 11.009 and its percentage is already given as a 80.40. okay, and whole divided by 100. okay, so if you solve it, so if you solve this, you will get one answer as a 198.548, and for this term you will get the answer as a 885.1236. okay, so this is how you can simplify it, and whole divided by 100. Most of the times what will happen, students will calculate it in a rough sheet and they will directly put the answer in here. okay, that method will be okay for CET or JEE or for competitive examinations, but as far as your theory examination or board examination, so you have to write down the answer in steps. okay, so for each and every step there will be allotted marks. So this is most important, and if you solve this, you will get the answer as a 10.8367, 10.8367, or we can write this as a this can be written as 10.84U, 10.84 AMU or U, unitary mass we can say. So in this way you can calculate the average atomic mass of boron. Here you can write average atomic mass of boron. okay, so if you not here written here, this will be the general formula. okay, as we are solving for boron, you have to write here boron. okay, so whatever the element given in your question, you have to write the name of that element over here. okay, so this is the proper way to solve the this type of numericals. So only the thing is that you must have to remember this formula. That is the reason I already before starting this exercise, I already given you the formulas, and just we have to remember the formula, write it down in a very proper way, that is atomic mass into its percentage abundance plus atomic mass of second isotope into percentage abundance whole divided by 100, and each and every value is given. So if you put the value, calculate it, you will get this answer 10.84 atomic mass unit. Okay, so after this we will proceed for our next question. So I hope it will be easier for you, it will be definitely helpful for you. So after this we are going to solve the next question, that is question number H. So it is very easy question. So question is like this: convert the following degree Celsius, convert the following degree Celsius temperature to degree Fahrenheit, to degree Fahrenheit. Question is like this, and two sub questions are given. First one is for 40 degree centigrade we have to convert it into Fahrenheit, and for second question 30 degree centigrade we have to convert it into Fahrenheit. So I think we have solved such type of problem already in MCQ category, okay, for which we must know simple formula for conversion of Fahrenheit into degree Fahrenheit into degree Celsius temperature. Okay, so first we will solve for this. For 40 degree centigrade, temperature in degree centigrade is given as, or I can write here, temperature in degree centigrade is given as 40 degree centigrade. So in order to calculate temperature in Fahrenheit, we are using this formula: degree Fahrenheit equal to 9/5 into degree centigrade plus 32. Okay, so what we have to do, we have to just put the value of degree centigrade in this formula, you will get the answer in degree Fahrenheit. So we can solve here. So 9/5 as it is, so degree centigrade given in your question is 40, so plus 32. Okay, if you solve is 5 8s are 40, so it becomes 9 8s are 72 plus 32, and you can add them. 2 plus 2 4, 7 plus 3 4, 7 plus 3 10. So it is found to be 104 degree Fahrenheit, means 40 degree centigrade means what, 104 degree Fahrenheit. Similarly for second question, it is very easy question actually, you just have to use this formula. So in second question, temperature in degree centigrade is given as 30 degree centigrade, isn't it? Again I'm using the same formula. So degree Fahrenheit equal to 9/5 into degree centigrade plus 32. So put the value over here as a 30 degree centigrade plus 32, again 5 6 are 30, so it becomes 9 6 are 54 plus 32. If I will add this, 2 plus 4 plus 2 it is 6, and 5 plus 3 it is 8, so it is found to be 80 degree Fahrenheit, isn't it? So this is very easy question. Most of the times it will be asked for 2 marks combinedly for 2 temperatures. Or else what will be the change? Probably they will give us the temperature in Fahrenheit, we have to convert it into degree centigrade. Okay, so either you can use the same formula or you can convert this also, no issue. So simple mathematical arrangement will be there. Okay, so the thing is that we have to write down the question or write down the answer in this sequence. Okay, first we have to write down the temperature given. In this case it is given in degree centigrade, so I am writing here. Then we have to use this formula. This formula is most important, we have to write it down. Most of the students, what they will think, so for first step I have written the formula, it is not necessary to write. No, it is not like that. You have to write the formula for each and every problem. Okay, because formula carries the equal marks. Okay, so once we will write the formula, put the given value and just calculate it, you will get your answer. So for 40 degree centigrade you will get 104 degree Fahrenheit, and for 30 degree centigrade becomes 86 degree Fahrenheit. Okay, so this is the way to write down the answer and calculate the answer and proper write down the answer in a sequence. Okay, so after this we will proceed for next question, that is question number I. So question number I is like this: calculate the number of moles and molecules of acetic acid present in 22 gram of it. So here if you read the question carefully, you will come to know, if you are able to calculate number of moles, you will get the number of molecules by using simple formula, that is number of moles equal to, number of molecules equal to number of moles into Avogadro's constant, isn't it? So the only the thing is that we have to calculate the number of moles here. Okay, so for knowing number of moles, we must know the formula first. Formula is like this: number of moles equal to mass of that particular substance divided by molar mass, and hence we can say, we first step we have to calculate the molar mass, and molar mass is can be calculated by calculating the molecular mass. So here if you see, so mass of acetic acid is given in 22 in grams, it is 22 gram, isn't it? So I'm writing here mass of acetic acid, it is given as 22 gram. Okay, so here then we have to calculate the molecular mass, because once you will calculate the molecular mass, we can able to write down the value of molar mass, and once you will get molar mass, we are using the formula number of moles equal to mass of substance to the divided by molar mass of substance, then we will get number of moles, and when we multiply it by Avogadro's constant, that gives me number of molecules. So this is how, before solving any numerical, we must know the what strategy should I am going to apply, or what sequence should I am going to apply, isn't it? So most of the time student will write down the formulas, and they will not able to maintain the proper sequence in your answer. So that sequence, when you will get this sequence after you are solving so many numericals, so what it means, it means you need a sound practice of solving the numericals. Okay, so for first step I am calculating the molecular mass of what, of acetic acid. And for formula for acetic acid, chemical formula, it is nothing but CH3COOH. We commonly call this acetic acid, as a common name is vinegar, isn't it? So CH3COOH, if you see, again I am using the same formula, number of atoms into average atomic mass of each and every element. If you see this formula, you will come to know it contains three elements. First one is carbon, second one is hydrogen, and third one is oxygen. Okay, so here if you first step, molecular mass of CH3COOH can be calculated by using the formula number of atoms of carbon. So if you see total number of carbon atoms in this is one, this is second, so 2 into average atomic mass. I am writing here directly, not writing the formula, because we solved such type of numerical several times, so I am directly writing here. So actually you have to write the formula first in your question, in your answer in the examination, but we solved such numericals several times before, just before 2 or 3 questions. So I am directly writing number of atoms. I'm explaining you the formula. I'm directly putting the values. So number of atoms into average atomic mass of that particular atom. So number of atoms for carbon is 2. It contains 2 carbon atoms. So average atomic mass of carbon is 12 atomic mass unit, plus now it contains number of hydrogen atom, so 3 and 1, so 4 number of atoms of hydrogen are 4, and average atomic mass of hydrogen is 1, plus it contains 2 atoms of oxygen, and for which average atomic mass is 16U. Okay, so if I will add it, it becomes 24 plus 4 plus 32, so it becomes 28 plus 32, so 10, 1 is remaining, and it is found to be 60 unit, or molecular mass of acetic acid is found to be 60 atomic mass unit, or unitary mass, isn't it? So therefore I can say, if I will get molecular mass, I can write the molar mass, only the change is what? Change is unit. So 60 as it is, instead of U I can write here gram per mole, isn't it? So this is what the molar mass, and once you will get the molar mass, you are using the formula number of moles equal to mass of the substance divided by molar mass, or you can write here directly mass of acetic acid also. Okay, so this is the general way of writing the formula. So more precisely, mass of the acetic acid divided by the molar mass of the same. So mass of the acetic acid is already given, it is 22 gram, So I'm writing here 22 gram divided by molar mass. We have found it as 60 gram per mole. Okay, so this gram will get cancelled out, and if you solve this 22 upon 60, so it is 11 upon 30, and if you convert in fraction, you will get 0.366 number of moles, or more precisely we can write it as a 0.367 moles. Okay, so this is the first part of your answer. Calculate the number of moles of and molecules of acetic acid. So number of moles we have calculated, and once you will get number of moles, it will be easier for us to calculate the number of molecules. So I am writing formula: number of molecules equal to number of moles into Avogadro's constant. So number of moles here is 0.367 into Avogadro's constant is 6.022 into 10 raised to 23. Okay, and if you multiply it, you will get 2.20, or we can say more precisely 2.210 into 10 raised to 23 molecules. Okay, so this is the second answer. So we can say number of moles are found to be 0.367 and number of molecules are found to be 2.210 into 10 raised to 23 molecules. So actually in your theory examination, we have to write it down separately below. So number of moles must be 0.367 and number of molecules equal to 2.210 into 10 raised to 23. So this is the proper way of writing the answer, so that examiner will be comfortable and they will give you full marks. Okay, after this we are going to discuss about our next question number J. Okay, so next question is question number J, and question is like this: 22 gram of carbon reacts with some oxygen to make 88 grams of carbon dioxide. We have to find out how much oxygen must have been used. Means we have to find out the total amount of oxygen used in this reaction. So here some oxygen means we have to find out the oxygen, quantity of oxygen, isn't it? So here, as we already know, the basic reaction, when carbon reacts with oxygen, we will get carbon dioxide. So in this question, mass of carbon is given. Mass of carbon, it is given as 24 gram, and so this will be your reactant more or less, isn't it? And at product, mass of carbon dioxide is given, mass of CO2 I can write. So it is given as 88 gram. Okay, so this will be your reactant and this is your product, isn't it? So mass of reactant and product is given, and you have to find out mass of one more reactant so that you will get the proper product. Okay, so we have to find out the mass of oxygen. So as we all know the basic reaction, 12 gram of carbon combine with 32 gram of oxygen to get the 44 gram of carbon dioxide, or basic reaction I am writing here. When carbon added with oxygen, we will get CO2. Okay, so here 12 gram of carbon will be there. So when it will react as two atoms of oxygen, so average atomic mass is 16, so it becomes 32 gram, and we will get here again 12 gram plus 32, we will get 44 gram of carbon dioxide. So this reaction we are familiar with, okay, or we have seen this in during the study of law of what we can say conservation of mass. Total mass of reactant is equal to total mass of product. Okay, so now here the change is what? In your question, mass of carbon is given as 24 gram, isn't it? So means what? In order to convert this into 24, I have to multiply it by 2, so it becomes 2 into 12, so for which I have to multiply this also by 2, so it becomes 2 into 32, and again here you will get 88 gram of carbon dioxide. So when I will multiply it by 2, I will get the 88. Okay, so so let us solve this. Once we will solve it, we will get quantity of oxygen here, and that is what your answer is. Or question is like this: find out how much of oxygen will be there. So if you are able to follow the law, that is mass of reactant equal to mass of product, we will get the automatically we will get the quantity of oxygen that must have been used in this reaction. Okay, so that we will get 88 grams of carbon dioxide. Okay, so we will continue this. If we solve this, you will get 24 gram plus 2 into 32, it is 64 gram, and you will get 88 gram. Okay, so if you add this, you will get, say, 4 plus 4 8, and 6 plus 2 8, so 88 gram equal to 88 gram. Okay, so what it means, it means what we need this much amount of oxygen, or we can say according to the question. So 32 gram of oxygen means what, when 24 gram of carbon will combine with 32 gram, okay, sorry, when 24 gram of carbon will combine with 64 gram of oxygen, that gives me 88 gram of carbon dioxide. So the answer must be mass of oxygen used here, or I can write here mass of oxygen used, which is equal to 64 gram. Okay, so in this way this is complete answer of your question number J. Okay, so after this we are going to discuss remaining questions in our next session. Okay, thank you.